Hey guys, I think we are live, hopefully. This is Ted Bogert on the TED Show. Very excited to have, we are live, very excited to have Barbara Von Schmeling on the show. I think I said it right. You're going to see my video now. I'm going to start it. There we go.
Hi.
Hey, Barbara. Barbara's been one of the most patient people trying to figure all of this out, try to rebook new links. I'm learning as everybody else is as we go along in this new normal. But she's got a great topic. I'm fascinated to talk about what it's like to live in the feminine freedom and what that all means. But before we get to that, let's meet Barbara. Barbara, tell us about you.
Hi, Ted.
Hi.
So yes, I'm Barbara, and I'm actually from Brazil. I was born in Brazil, and I moved to Winter Park in 2008. Actually, the end of 2007. I met my husband. We are both martial artists. I've been involved in martial arts for close to 30 years. It has been 27 years. And
you were a baby,
yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, right. Yeah, really. So I met my husband at a martial arts event, and then I was living in Brazil, and we dated long distance for like 2 years, and then I moved, and we just started to work together as soon as I moved, because I had a martial arts school in Brazil. He had a few here in America. So we started to work together, and now we have close to 50 schools.
And I didn't know that. I had
you didn't know that? Yeah.
No. I do zero research. We spend all of our research money on White Claw and anything else that might have alcohol.
Yeah, hey, surprise.
Surprise. Yeah, when I pulled you up, it said, is it Victory Martial Arts?
Yes, Victory Martial Arts.
Yeah, so I said, didn't know that about her. But you came here. Did you speak English when you came? I always like to ask that.
I already spoke English. I didn't know many words, but when I moved here, I learned.
You have this really, I mean, I love a little bit of an accent, but you really can't tell in most words. I also want to point out, people, she doesn't speak, her native language is not necessarily Brazilian. It's not Brazilian.
It's Portuguese. Yeah.
So I had a few people will pop on, and I'm just trying to stop them. Oh, does she speak Brazilian? No, she does not speak Brazilian. All right, so you get to the United States and you guys expand your empire, for lack of a better word.
Right.
So what was it that brought you to the feminine freedom? First, let's define that. What does that even mean?
Okay, so about a little bit less than 3 years ago, I don't know if you've ever heard of Tony Robbins. I'm sure you have.
Absolutely.
Yes. So my husband and I, we enjoy his seminars. We go to his seminars, and we are part of this group that is called the Platinum Partners. And he does every 2 years a relationship retreat for a week in Hawaii. So in 2017, he had one. That was the first one that we went. And it was cool because his whole philosophy is, for a relationship to work, you need polarity. So you need one masculine force and one feminine force to be able to connect, right? And then on the first day, he came and he said, okay, every day for the first 2 hours of the day, the men are going to go with this guy, and you're going to practice martial arts because that's the way to bring up the masculine, the protector, and the real, how do I even say, like, your wild masculine, right? Out.
Your machismo.
Yeah, like that's like that. And then for the ladies, he said, you're going to go with this lady. Her name is Sheila, and she's going to work with bringing up the feminine energy in you. And I was like this.
Sure, because you're a martial artist you're trained, you've done it, so it almost, right. I'm sure it almost felt insulting.
Yeah, I was like, and then my husband looked at me, he said, what happened, what's wrong? And I said, nothing, like typical. And then he said, you want to go do the martial arts, right? I said, yeah, of course I want to go do the martial arts. I don't want to do this other thing, And then he said, well, baby, then come with me, let's do the martial arts. And then for a second I stopped and I said, well, maybe I should try this other thing, right? And I went with the ladies, and it was just phenomenal what I discovered about myself. And because I had this idea that the feminine was weak, that the feminine was not enough, that whatever was wrong with the feminine, that's what I thought it was.
You
And
didn't think of yourself as the feminine.
no, I was like, of course I'm more masculine. And even I don't think I was, but in my mind, I wanted to be, because being in martial arts for so long, you have to be tough. You have to be strong. You need to be like, oh, you know, and at the same time, I know I wasn't masculine, but I wanted to be, because I thought that would make me stronger, if that makes sense.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So when I went to with the ladies, I discovered that the whole power was in me being feminine. And so what does that mean, right?
Yeah, I want to know.
And
I'm curious to see. People are making comments, of course, about my wallpaper. You mean it's really my comforter, Shirley. So yes, I know it's a little busy today, but it's better than the crazy wallpaper behind me. Yeah, I think people want to know, what's the definition? Like, what people hear, you hear it all the time. Well, you're more masculine, you're more feminine. Only women are feminine, men have to be masculine. And yet that's not necessarily the truth. But I don't think people know how to define what that really means. So what does feminine mean from your perspective?
well, from my perspective, the feminine flows. Like when you texted me, like I'm good, I'm flowing, I'm good. I don't need to have that certainty that that it needs to be a certain way. And that's one of the things with the feminine flows, right? It's okay to be here, to be there, to focus in different things. And it doesn't mean that I am 100% feminine. We all need both energies, right? We all need to be connected to both. But if my core is feminine and I'm living my life in the masculine, which means I am goal-oriented, focused in only one thing. I want results. I want to achieve. That is all masculine energy, and nothing wrong with that. I have that in me too, right? But if I live just there, that's when we women, we just get like exhausted and we're tired, because we're vibrating in this frequency that is just not natural to our bodies, right? And to
Sure.
ourselves.
And men can be the same, right? Men can be so 100% in the masculine world, and because they're either hiding or not allowing their feminine energy, for lack of a better word, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that if you're hiding that, or you're not embracing it, or at least tapping into it, then you're not getting the full picture.
Yes, we need both. We need to be connected to both. Of course, we have one that is more dominant, that is more primal, right? And it depends. There are women that they have their core more masculine, and they need to be true to that as well, right? And same with men, that they have that feminine core, and that can be for many reasons, but they do. But physiologically, we are different, and we as women, we have different gifts that men have. So it's just accepting and also embracing those gifts and elevating them. So let's say, for example, one of the feminine geniuses is, the first one is a curve of movement. That's how we move. We move in a more undulated way, with not so straight line, right?
Right.
And yeah, and
that's
for
true,
the men,
that's why guys can't dance in general.
pretty much.
I mean, some
of them
can,
movement. But it's different. Yeah.
Very different.
It's more linear, right?
What do you think? I want to get to the steps. I want to get to the different breakdown, but I want to ask you, what do you feel like, what do you say to people when they say, but the feminine perception is that feminine, being in the feminine, let's use that, is not weak, but too soft. It's not good for business. It's not, you can't manage people if you're soft, because the perception is that feminine is soft, masculine is harder, more, this way, and it's my way or the highway. How do you talk to people about that and explain to them that you do have to embrace both, that softness is not a bad thing, for example?
Okay, so I would say that one of the most important attributes that the feminine has is connection, right? We have that ability to connect, to empathize, to nurture. And I believe if you use that in business, it's super powerful.
I agree.
Right? So I don't need to be, of course I can be focused and goal oriented, but if I am too much, it's my way or the highway, how can you lead, right? Correct. So the leader also is the one who inspires other people, right? So for example, in our company, one of our best leaders is this girl from Vegas. I say girl because she's like in her early 30s and she's just phenomenal, but she has this ability to connect with people, and she accomplishes way more than some of our other leaders that they are overly masculine. I can say that they're
I
not in
think that's
touch
it.
with
I
that
think
part of them.
people, if you're over one side or the other, it's not good, which is what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
you need that
also,
harmony, right?
you
Yeah.
have to, harmony is a great word. I feel like I'm definitely more, and I'm surprised none of my friends who are watching have said anything. I feel like I'm definitely more on, I'm definitely in touch with my feminine energy, because I am softer in my presentation. I'm a good listener. I'm normally calm. And that people are attracted to that. So you can connect better with people, like you just said. And then
Hmm.
sometimes I'm like, wow, I've had way too much feminine energy in my life right now. I got to go be a dude. But that's okay. You have to figure
Yeah.
out where your balance is.
Yeah, because probably that is your core and you need to come back to it. Even if you use this, you use maybe more feminine in your workspace, right? Maybe when you are out of it, you're like, man, I need to go work out. I need to do something
Right.
to feel that I'm a man also, right?
Right.
And the feminine is not always soft. The feminine is, it can be pretty wild. It can be very intense. The feminine is very intense. There's a lot of fire. So when we think that just because I'm in my feminine, I don't get angry or I don't get sad or I don't get fiery, it's not really, because the feminine, it's this, we have these waves of emotions and all of them, right?
Yeah. Try being a dude. Try to figure that out.
Exactly.
No, I think it's really good though to be able, I love the fact that it's feminine freedom. I think focusing on the freedom part says, all right, look, you need to embrace it. You need to figure out how to take it all in and then go with it, go with the flow, figure out where you're at. So tell me where the concept of the feminine freedom came from. Obviously, you talked about Tony Robbins. What do you want to do with it? What do you want to explain to people? How can they become free? I guess, Barbara, is my question.
That's a great question. So I chose the name Feminine Freedom because I believe we as women, we've been constricted for so long in expressing our feminine. And even there's a confusion of what the feminine is, like we're just talking about. We think it's weak or soft, and we think as women that for us to be appreciated or recognized, we need to be like men, right? So the feminine freedom came from the idea of us women being free to live life in the true feminine essence, that it doesn't have to be equal to the masculine. Okay,
Yes.
so even the freedom of expression, the freedom of movement, the freedom of feeling and having emotions and just accepting us the way we are and having others do the same. And I think the freedom, I think the masculine needs freedom as well. We both do, right?
I agree. I think that there has to be a freedom. I feel like women, the feminine side, I say women, but we'll say feminine
Yeah,
side.
yeah, sure.
People will say, well, a woman can't lead, somebody in the feminine cannot lead because they'll get emotional about everything as if that's a negative.
Mm-hmm.
I think not being emotional, not being somehow attached to things is a negative, not the opposite. So when you are you coaching people, tell us about what the Feminine Freedom Initiative is doing. Are you coaching? Are you doing seminars, webinars? What are you doing to continue your movement?
So right now, yes, I'm doing online, right? We're
Right?
doing, because the feminine is really of the body. There's no way to think your way through the feminine. It's something that it has to come from embodying it, the feminine. And I found the way to embody the feminine, it's by moving the body and being able to express fully and take, letting the body take the full space of motion, that range of motion that we're not used to it, because we're used to be like this for protection. We're used to, as women, right? We're
Right.
not used to really show ourselves out the way we should, right? Or
Right.
the way it's authentic to the body. And because there's judgment, there's shame, there's criticism, there's taboo, there's a lot of things going around the expression of the woman, right?
Very much so.
So what I do when I do the live events, live seminars where people come, we actually bring the body back to the organic form, bring the body back to speaking the language of the feminine body. And that's the beginning of everything. So I did my first online session last week. I did a Facebook Live
How did that
also.
go? Because I think what you're talking about, it feels like Norm. We talked about this earlier, just as a put it out there authentic. We talked a teeny bit about this.
Right.
I feel like what you do, what we both do, there's this expectation that you have to be present physically because of the energy. And so how are you adapting when you're going to this? We're all in quarantine. We're all staying away from people. But obviously we need what you have to say. We need coaching. We need life coaching. We need to continue to interact with human beings. How are you capturing what you would normally do in a physical place on live, on Zoom, on Facebook?
Yeah, so of course, the Facebook Live, I cannot see the other ladies, right? And I did the first one on Sunday, but actually I had like maybe 30 women there. They were commenting. And then of course, when we were doing the embodiment, they were not, because they were practicing with me and I was leading them through it. But when I did like it was almost 2 hours full session with a group of ladies, I had 16 ladies coming, and I could see them. We connected in the beginning. We shared, we talked to each other, because that's a big part of the feminine. It's that connection, that tribe, right? That we used to have back in the Stone Age when you guys were hunting. We were all together, right?
Correct.
And we were there for each other. We like my life depended on another woman's life, because we were there helping and protecting each other and our children. So we were very connected. And that's also one of the things that right now I think is missing a lot, because women criticize women. Women find everything wrong on other women, right? Instead of elevating each other and supporting each other. So when we get together, even virtually, we connect, we learn about each other, we talk. And then from there, we go into the movement practice with music. And there are different songs that trigger different emotions in the body. You can hear a song that maybe will trigger some sadness, or can trigger some anger, or some, I don't know, some sexiness, or whatever it is. Whatever is, the truth is, whatever is in you that it's kind of trapped, it might come out.
You're trying to get them to get back in touch with, people are saying, yes, I know, Julie, you're absolutely right. My background looks like one of my shirts. I'm working on it, guys. I feel like you're trying to tell people to get back in touch. Let's go back to the basics. You said the word organic, which I understood immediately. You're going back to what your real language is, whatever that is for you. You're trying to help them channel that. You're trying to help them figure out what that is, instead of all of these other outside sources and restrictions and walls they've put up that isn't allowing that normal organic speak body.
You said it perfectly. Yes. And that's it.
Fascinating.
And creating that safe space to let whatever comes out. So if I had girls having tears. I had people I had my stepdaughter saying, I feel angry, so it's something. I had people saying, oh my gosh, I'm feeling turned on by just moving my body, because maybe it has been a while that they haven't moved that way. So that erotic energy also comes up, right?
Sure.
So it's all sorts of energy and emotions that we have in the body. So it's fascinating.
You just got everyone's attention with that. We're starving for any kind of interaction right now, all of us.
That is a good one.
Well, I think people forget that, there's so many norms that are put on us on how we're supposed to be. And as we grow up, we can continue to build all those layers. And then we're really not, like you said, speaking our own sexual voice, erotic voice, business voice, personal voice, so many different ways that we can communicate. And we're doing it within these parameters that we've built up over the years about basically if somebody's told us to be this way, or this is what the norm looks like. And it should be about what's the norm for you. Now, no serial killers, please, but we want what the norm for you is.
Yeah, and finding that authenticity within yourself that's where the freedom comes, right?
Yeah, that's where the freedom comes. And I love that word. I think right now what's great is the timing's amazing for anything to do with freedom, because I feel like people are choosing. They're either choosing to crawl up in a fetal position and the world is coming to an end, or people are having the freedom to do things that they couldn't because of all of the things they thought were important when the world was all connected physically. And now that we are in this arena of Zoom and Facebook Live, and we have to communicate via FaceTime, we have to go back to basics to find out. And we have the freedom to do that now. That's what's really cool. So I love it. When's your next seminar coming up? When's your next event?
Well, I'm doing a quick Facebook Live tomorrow at 1 p.m. That is
And
just free for like your show. You know, anyone can go and join in. Interesting enough, when I did it, of course, I invited ladies, you know, my friends and all that. And I had one guy showing up. I don't know if he stayed there or he left because we were actually moving. But
are guys
you know,
welcome?
So, well,
No, that's fair because it is the feminine freedom. So I don't know. I've been to event. I'm going to share my point of reference on that. I spoke at an event where I was the only guy in the room because the event was all women. And
mm-hmm.
so all of you could feel the energy change when I walked in. It was different. Even though I feel like I was connected, I'm still bringing a different energy in. So I understand that. I respect that. I think that's great. We want the ladies to sign up for her Facebook Live tomorrow.
Yeah. It's tomorrow 1 o'clock, and it's on my page. It's called The Feminine Freedom. I actually I emailed you or I texted you because when we first talked, you asked me if I had a business page. I said no, and I opened one. I think it was last week.
Good for you. So we'll tag that too in the show. All right. So any parting words of wisdom? Anything you want to share with them? Maybe something that might help men or women, but something along the lines of feminine freedom, something that they can do at home, something they can a basic step they can take, maybe one or two, to really begin that transformation or getting in touch with that organic self.
Yes, I can. Actually, one of the main things in the feminine, it's the sensuality. And there's also a little bit of a misconception of what sensuality means. And pretty much is just bringing all your senses and everything that is going on around you into your body. So the way we do that, the way we cultivate that sensuality is by slowing down. And that is crucial for the feminine because, like I was saying, the world right now requires us, women and men, to be always on the go. But now, like, this is what I've been hearing a lot from people, that now that they're staying home, that they can really be out there. Wow, I'm home, I'm noticing this, I'm slowing down. And that is so crucial. And especially for the feminine, because when we slow down, we connect it to our 5 senses. It's like if you eat a meal in a hurry or if you eat it slowly, you taste it, you feel it. So, right? So even like I do it, even at home, I could be cooking and I'm moving, and I catch myself. I'm like, okay, let me slow down. So I start to like grab the things slowly. So you can be more present. You can be more in your body. So that's one thing that anyone can do. Just maybe eat slowly, maybe brush your teeth slowly, maybe roll out of bed slowly instead of jumping. And like my husband, he grew up with the father, German father, you know, so he's like, all right, jump like a champion, get up. So when we started, you know, when we got together in the morning, he would tell me that jump like a champion. I'm like, I don't want to jump like a champion. I kind of want to stretch out, because that's maybe how the masculine wakes up.
Right.
I wake up like, you know, like a little, you know, I don't know, like a little kitty, like stretching. And because that's how I also connect to my body, right?
I love
by
that.
slowing down. So the slowing down. It's a big thing that anyone can do.
I love it.
To connect to that feminine energy.
You're a joy. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I feel relaxed talking to you, if that makes sense. And I also want to tell you that we were talking about energy before we went live. I still have the connected energy with you. So that's a gift for you, because I think, again, people are afraid of this platform, this medium to communicate. And I really want to encourage them not to be, because I know I have lots and lots of comments, which you can respond to later, and I will too.
Oh, cool.
Lots of people are feeling that energy. And I think that is such a great thing that you're putting out there. So the feminine freedom, also Victory Martial Arts, with Barbara Von Schmeling. You were amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ty. I felt your energy too, so I really appreciate it. This was amazing.
And I think everybody's seeing the energy right back here. Yes. Some insanity, right? I'm going to figure that out this week.
It's you, right? It's you.
It really is me. Maybe I need to find a solid colored shirt so you're don't feel like you're on some kind of trip. Thank you so much for sharing. You guys check her out, the Feminine Freedom. I will tag it when we finish the live. Reach out to her. She'll post on her page what time, how to get to the Facebook Live tomorrow. But thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. All right, have a great one. We love you guys. Mwah. We'll be back.
Bye, everybody.
Tomorrow. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, guys.